Okay, y'all. Friday night, Hebrew class. We're having the board here is First Kings 21 and 8. When it comes to the specific scripture here, this is one of the precepts that the shield of David is not a star of Molech. So you see in the Isupk, you see us sporting this shield of David a lot. You understand? In a great amount, with full joy and love of wearing it, right? With pride and patrioticness, we wear the shield of David, right? And of course, you have Christians, or rather neo-Nazis, right, that will say that this is a star of Molech because they see a star of Molech in the Bible, and then they point to, hey, this is the shape of a star in American society. So because of the shape of a star in American society, right, Caucasian people who have beef with the imposter man, the Israeli man, they to have a point or to diss them, they're gonna say, look, they don't really worship God, even though they say they are Jews. They have a star of Molech. But pointing to a scripture about a star of Molech and pointing to a shape of what you call a star in America, right? That doesn't make it actually the star of Molech. This is a point that they say. But what's even more dumb is when you are an Israelite and you have no business in neo-Nazis' opinions and you have no business in neo-Nazi affairs to be taking up their points of arguments that they had against another Caucasian person like themselves. It's a very shameful thing for a brother to base his life based on some opinion of some neo-Nazi to say the shield of David is a star of Molech, when stars in the Bible are not shapes. All right? Stars in the Bible are not shapes. All right? So we have the scripture that explains the star of the shield of David is not a star, it's not a star of Molech. It's not, stars in, I don't know if you know, in the Bible, a star
It's a circle.
is a circle or a celebrity. All right. So for every religion, there's a star. Right. Number one, the sun is a star. It is a circle in the sky. Right. And then you'll get in your telescope, and then they'll look at all the other stars in the universe, and they're all circles. Right. But then you have the context of what we call a star on the earth. Right. So the star of Christianity, that white Jesus. Right. The star of Islam, that Muhammad. Right. The star of Buddhism, Buddha, or one of them. Right. I know Buddha is the skinny one. Am I getting it right, sir? The star of the Buddhism. They got like
the fat one, the fat belly one.
the fat one.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he the star or is he the? Because I know one of them is skinny.
I have no idea.
Cause I know one of them. One of them is the God, and one of them is the messenger or the thing that's promising you wealth. Right. The one that they hang up in the Chinese restaurant. One of them is the star. The star is the one who brings the religion to you. The one they post pictures about and make statues of everywhere. You see what I'm saying? The star of civil rights is Martin Luther King. You understand? That's how a star works. And then one time there was a star of Molech, which people used to hold up in promises of wealth and getting all the girls or whatever they dreams or ideas might be, right? So we got the scripture, 1 Kings 21, very important scripture if you want to get people off your back who's saying, oh, the shield of David, that's a star of Molech, the star of Molech. You want to go to this scripture. You want to go to this scripture. You want to go to Esther 8 and 8. You want to go to second Esther's 10 and what was that, 30, 38? The one where it says the seed of Zion.
That's second 10 and 23.
Second Esther's 10 and 23. the water, sir. You know what I mean? This will be part of the breakdown of the star of the shield of David is not a star of Molech. All right, good. Right, so what we did, we got the scripture, we wrote it out in the English and in Hebrew, so we can learn some Hebrew words as we learn the English in this scripture. All right, so this scripture particularly was about a king called Ahab. Ahab in the Hebrew, Awa. All right, to say brother, father, where his name was defined as being a friend of God. All right, his name was defined as being a friend of God, and the way to describe that was to say brother of his father, brother of the father. Right. The context was that he was a friend of the Lord. All right, meaning he loved God's people. Right. If you read the story about him, you know he was a guy who was like for the people. All right. Okay, no problem. Before of course, you know, in the end, I think he fell off, right? He fell off in the end. Many great men have fallen, right? No problem, right? So if I get the scripture in English, I'm gonna read it in the King James Version first, quickly, and then I want to break down the Hebrew words to you. Pay attention to these keywords. Pay attention to the words that got the two under them. The words with the two is what you're gonna need for your vocabulary. Right, all the words with the twos underneath them is what you're going to need for your vocabulary. The one with the ones are the prepositions. The ones with the threes, right, are possessives. So what I did last week, I created a chart so you can understand the flow of the structure of what you have to calculate when you read Hebrew. All right, it's not as complicated as you think, but we're going to try to go over it step by step. You need this to read Hebrew. You need to understand this step right here to read a Torah, to read a Tanakh, to interpret any Hebrew saying. You need to understand preposition, word, possessive. All right, so we're going to go into that in a second. All right, and first I'm going to get the scripture in English, and then we're going to go into that. All right, we're in First Kings 21:8. Okay, there we go. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling in Naboth. Okay, good. So that's the scripture. That's what we got on the board right here. And I want to explain what this means as we go along. All right, so number one, right is kathab. Very good word. Very good word to know. Kathab. Kathab. You want to write something down? Kathab. If I want to tell a brother, write it. Write it. Kathab wa. Kathab wa. Write it. All right. How can I say things that's not complicated? I want to, if I say a. Right. Write it. Kathab. Which is the kathab for now, right? Right. Kathab wa. Write it. So I tell brother, hey, write it. I could say, write this down. It might be too complicated. I would say, kathab hazah matar. Write this down. Kathab hazah matar. I would just say, write it. Kathabwa. Kathabwa. Okay, good. And she writes. And wa. She as a preposition. Sa. Sa. Right? Kathab. And she writes. Wa sa kathab. All right? Wa sa kathab. And you have to say it. You have to, just like you go to school, you're learning English in the kindergarten, right? For us, you know, we're like newborn again men. We're trying to learn our culture back. You know, we get a couple years in the truth. So now it's like we learning things all over again, right? But don't be embarrassed about it. It's not your fault. You see what I'm saying? The oppressor beat this out of you. We was cursed by the Lord. And we should take the effort to try to get back what was ours, all right? So ain't no shame in it. right? I know some grown men out there, they gotta learn English at age 30, and they might feel a little embarrassed because they're reading cat, hat, and rat. But you have to understand the mission. All right. So here we are. We're starting with wa, sa, kathar. Definitely say to yourself, if you're at home, get a pen, get a pencil, and write it down. I got this from the Hebrew interlinear, right? Okay, good. If I can compare it to how it's read in English, right? It's very different. And when it comes to like fields that I have to work in, like making names, you have to know the difference or kind of pick up the pattern where it is things are written in Hebrew in one way, but they're written in the King James Version the other way. So in King James Version, it says, so she wrote. But in the Hebrew, it doesn't say so. Right? If it were to say so, it would have said something more like kan. To say like thus. Like in English, it could have been exchanged to say thus she wrote. It could have said and he wrote. But the poets that formed the translation under the authority of King James, they chose to wrote so she wrote, right, to make it more artsy per se, right? Good. Wa tha kathab, and she wrote. Wa tha kathab, and in the kathab, right? This is like regular tense. This is not past tense. In here it says past tense, based on the truth of what's going on. But in our culture, we will skip the tense. We spoke like, we kind of spoke like ghetto. You see what I'm saying? That was our way. You know what I mean? The same way we speak English now, then you have good English, and then you have like ghetto English. That ghetto English is not to say you're dumb. That ghetto English is to say this is how you naturally talk in your nature. Right? The thing that they call ghetto. There's one person calling it ghetto. Our families don't call it ghetto. Our families call it regular. Right? This is how we spoke. And I'm saying what I'm saying based on what I'm learning in these scriptures. Right? That, heathens will have a way to say, I'm better than the peasant. But for us, we just had a way of communicating effectively. All right? Good. And she writes letters. This is not really the right word for letters. This is really the right word for books. All right? But the idea in being ghetto, right? That, he wrote a book. You see what I'm saying? Even though he was not making a book, she was not making a book. She's really making a letter. So the translator put on that point that she's writing a letter. Right? Good. So, and she writes letters. Sa, Kathab, Saparia. Sa, Kathab, Saparia. Good. In the name of who? In Ahab's name. Right? Right? In the King James Version, she wrote letters in Ahab's name. Right? In Ahab's name. English says in Ahab's name. Hebrew says in name Ahab. Like how we say, how about Shim, Yahushai, Barakatha, right? Translate to Christian, we'll say in Jesus' name. We're saying God in Jesus' name, bless you. Right? But the Hebrew says God in the name, Jesus. You understand? Right? It's culture of talking. I wonder what AI can tell me about the culture of talking. Hold on. Culture of talking. The culture of talking refers to, it's a look, AI is good for, man. He teaches my class for me. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, what am I going to teach? What am I going to say? How do I explain this? Get AI to explain it. He knows all about good skills to explain it. I'm just a man from the hood. You know what I mean? So I might need some assistance, and God made assistance. It says the culture of talking refers to a society's norms. There we go. There we go. The society's norms. So for us, we say like, yo, I went up in the mayor's meeting yesterday, sir, right? And I was like, by accident, it was good evening, y'all. And all these, you know, well-to-do professional white men of all professions from Midtown Manhattan, they're looking like, yo, like you're looking down on me because of my societal norm from the places I'm from. You know, and then of course I go and break it down, and the whole room is like, yeah, connect the families between the neighborhoods and prisons. You know what I mean? But you have society's norms. So in our society, we wrote Hebrew. Whatever you see, what we wrote, it might not make sense to you because you were raised in America's norms. Your goal in the Hebrew class is to learn the Hebrew norms. Okay, good. The society's norms, values, right? Our values will be our laws, right? And practices surrounding communication. Our practice is this. This is what we practice. Preposition, word, possessives. We're always looking for preposition, word, possessives. So I've numbered them, and you'll see those numbers down here. All right? So this is something that we have to practice. Do it over and over and over again. All right? So we're always looking for preposition. Let me see. You see a one. Preposition, preposition, preposition. Always looking out for it. There's no preposition here. Preposition here. Preposition here. No possessives. You always got to be on track for that. Preposition here. Word. Possessive. In the same format. 1, 2, 3. Like how this is 1, 2, 3. Because the whole idea is that in our practice of communication, in writing, right, the preposition is written on the word. The possessive is written on the word. And by preposition, I mean like and, the, those are prepositions, right? Where in English, you write and separately from your word, or you write the separately from the word. In Hebrew, we write and right on the word as if it was part of the word. Right? We write the on the word as if it was a part of the word. So when you come from English and you're looking at the Hebrew, and we're going to get to now. You're confused everybody. Okay, this book right here is a Tanakh. It was provided to the school by a brother called Officer Yawa Sapiala. Right? Here's the page. There we go. Everybody's like, what the hell am I looking at? All right. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, there we go. All right. So this says Ba Ra'ashias. All right. And this is Genesis, right? And at first, I haven't looked at this word. I've not looked at this book in a while. So at first I was like, what's this? I had to look at Ba is a preposition. That's what I did first. Ba as a preposition means in. And then I have to look at the yath at the end of it. Okay, well, yath at the end of a word is usually some, tenth of the word. So I took that off. And then I looked at what's in the middle, what the word will be. What I have on the board as place 2, right? What I have on the place is place 2. So ba will go over here. The tenth will go over here. And the ra'ash will go right here, right? And I know that ra'ash, right, from the figure of the ra in the alphabet is head. Ra'ash is head. In, head, right? And then you got the tenth, which means in the beginning. In the beginning, right? This yah turns this ra'ash into beginning, right? In beginning. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the random part of this book that I opened up happens to be Genesis. Okay, good. And I go to any verse. All right, here we are. We're in verse, what's this? 18, right? The big space here means the verse starts over here, right? By the way, we read from right to left. In English, you write this way like this. You write that way. In Hebrew, you write this way. You write this way like that. All right? Good. All right? I start over here. Is it going to zoom? Zoom. All right? And it says, Wa ya gash. Right? Wa is and as a preposition. Ya is and. Oh, sorry. Ya is he. He as a preposition. And then gash is a word. What's gash again? Nagash. Nagash is can't remember what nagash is. Salakia. Right? I think we went over that like 2 weeks ago. Nagash is something. Can't remember. Right? Al is a word. Al is a word which means onto. Ya wa is possessive. Ya is as a possessive with two possessives is that to say of, and a wa is it. Onto it. So gash and he gash something onto of it. All right. Good. Right. And it goes over here. Ya ha wa da. Judah. Judah. Ya ha wa da. Good. Right. And it goes wa ya. I identify wa as a preposition. I also identify ya, this little dot hanging in the air right here, as a preposition also. Which is the same one over here. Right? Wa ya, to say and he. So this wa ya right here is also and he. And then amar means said. Okay? Ba is a preposition to say in. It's paired with a possessive right here. Possessives go at the end of the word, by the way. Possessives only go at the end of the word. If it's not a possessive that in our list at the end of the word, then it is probably a preposition. Ba is at the beginning to say in. Ba is not a word by itself. Ba is not a possessive. So ba can only be in. This is the calculation I do every day. A calculation I do every time I'm on the Sabbath service. Every time I gotta look in the book, this is the calculation I'm doing. The same process. 1, 2, 3 that I have on the board. That's what I do every day. I'm always looking for 1, 2, 3. Is this 1? No 1. Okay, maybe 2. Okay, good. 2, 3. Good. We got 1, 2, no 3. Okay, good. We got 1. We got no 1. We got 2. Good. We got no 3. Good. No problem. For this one was Baya. We got 1. We got no 2, but we got 3. All right. That was this right here. This is looking at preposition 1. No word. Possessive 3. Right? To say ba, and then the ya to say in my something. In my something. And then word here is Adan. Adan is Lord. Right? Adan ya, my Lord. All right. Ya the bar. Ya to say he as a preposition. And the bar to say command or say. Na'ah to say now. The English word now comes from now. Do it right now. The English word now comes from that word now. All right, now in Hebrew to say now. Right? Good. So that's what I'm looking at, if I can give you an idea of what I'm looking at in Hebrew. And I wrote in English letters last week, right, to teach today. Okay? The 1 Kings 21 and 8. So when I'm saying these things, the 1, 2, and 3, that's what I'm looking at in the Hebrew. Right? If I can give you a more concise understanding of what I'm trying to teach. Okay? Okay, good. Whatever is the social norms or the practices, the linguistic values of us, is what I'm trying to show to you in this right manner, right? The best I can, right? Okay, good. And she writes letters in name Ahab, right? Watha Katha, Saparium, Ba Shum, Akhaba. And she sealed. Wa Tha Khatham. Wa Tha Khatham. And she sealed. Wa Tha Khatham. In seal. And she sealed in his seal. Right? In his seal. So in English, I gotta do this. I gotta jump here because of the English manner of speaking. But in Hebrew, the manner of speaking is in seal his, or to make you better understand, in seal of his. Yeah. Okay. So you gotta kind of switch your mind a little bit. So I want to say, hey, this is Captain Shamawa's hat, English, right? I have to try to get ready to switch my mind to say, instead of saying Captain Shamawa's hat, I have to say hat, the hat of Captain Shamawala. I gotta switch the words around because that is the practice. So we're gonna say in his seal, in seal of his, all right? Or in seal of him, right? Him and his, the same thing, right? So here we go. And she sealed in his seal. Here we go. Ready? I'm saying Hebrew. Follow along with me. Wa, tha, katham, ba, katham, wa. Wa, tha, katham, ba, katham, wa. The wa is and. The tha is she. Let's put some more space right here. So put some more space right here so we can properly distinguish the word a little better. Right? Because this katham right here is this same katham right here. Right? This is not tha katham, one word. This is tha to say she. This is katham to say seal. Like you're sealing something. Now this katham, the word might be a different seal than another kind of seal. Now I don't want to say this is sealing a jar. Unless I'll check and look it up. All right. So I want to get some clarification of the sense of words. All right. I always look into the concordance to get the idea. The Strongs, these people studied the sense of a word, to say how it's used in its sense, in its context. All right. So let me just move this over a little bit. Okay. Okay, good. We got the katham. Wa tha katham. And she sealed. Wa and tha she katham sealed. I want to get a little clarification on that seal. So Strong's Concordance, you get it on Amazon, probably like $12, $16, right? Depending on the day, right? In the back, look at these dots right here. This is English. This line right here, English. Look for any word in English in alphabetical order. Back here, then we got the Hebrew, the Greek, and we got some other index right here. I'm not sure. Oh, this is W. Okay. But then we got this. This should be the Hebrew right here. Oh, nope. Appendix. Then this should be the Hebrew. I know it's Hebrew and Greek, right? So this should be the Hebrew right here. Yep. It says right here, Hebrew, right? That's like it. Hebrew. Wait for the camera to focus. So lock it. Maybe it's the lighting, right? There we go, right? So you can see we got the Hebrew section. It says, oh, come on. It says Hebrew right here in the black side right here, right? It's going to give you a concordance code. It's going to give you the words in Hebrew, right? And their Yiddish estimate of how to say the word from what they recognize as Hebrew, right? And it gives you the the idea of what it is. So it'll compare it to another concordance code to say it's the same as this word, right? And then they'll let you know, hey, this word over here, this random Hebrew word, it's like stiffening something. They give you a quick synopsis or quick information on what the thing might be. Okay, good. Now we're looking for Qatham. So we are Ma. So we way down the end of the line. We gotta go back to Kha. All right, so I go in my alphabetical order. Abba, Gada, Hawaza. Gotta do the alphabet too. Abba, I'm gonna bring the alphabet sheet in a minute and do that too. Abba, Gada, Hawaza, Ha. So we are Ga, we are Ha. We need to go some more. Abba, Gada, Ha. Waza, Ka. Everywhere. We got Ka. Are we looking for Ka, Thumb? Okay. Ka, Thumb. Tha is the last letter. So I'm in the second row of the lettering of all of the Kas. I'm looking for Ka, Thumb. I gotta go all the way to the end of the Ka. Good. So here's the end of the Ka. The Kha, well, we write in English Chaa. Right? Right. So I go right to the end, and we have Ka, Thaf. That's not what I want. Thaf is right at the end. I want Ka, Thumb. Right? So I go up in alphabetical order based on that last letter now. All right. Right. Kathar, Kathap, Kathap. What's that? Kathana. Almost there. Kathan, almost there. Oh, there, is that it? That's it right there. Right. And we got two Kathams. Right. Not to say that there's two words for Kathams, but they got two ways of describing it for whatever reason. Right. Okay. So you usually want to go with the first one. The second one is usually the other one, the Chaldean, right, to say how it was used in whatever instance it was written in Chaldean. But you want the first one, which is the Hebrew, right? There we go. Chatham, a root to mean close up, to close up, to seal, make an end, mark, seal up, stop. All right, so that's the whole idea. Now this one on the board, we're talking about letters. And we're talking about sealing up a letter. So here's a letter. It's open. The letter is open. Now it's closed, but it's not sealed, so it can open again. What do I do to make sure that it stays closed? What's the thing where I can make sure that if the seal breaks, someone knows that the seal is broken? All right. This is concordance code 2856. And what I do is, right, the motto is don't be sure, make sure. So what I do is I always do this. This is how I remember things. I make sure that things stay in my head. I go to my Bible app, my Hebrew Bible app, Hebrew, whatever it's called right here, right? This one right here, Bible with Strongs. I don't know if you can see it. Bible with Strongs. Right? I got plenty Bible apps. Bible with Strongs. I click on that one, right? Good. And I go to the search bar right here, and whatever concordance code came up on the in the Strongs, I put that in there. 2856. It's going to show me every instance of where that word katham came up like magic. It's just going to show me everything in the Bible. All right. And here's our compare. When I get the idea of how to use the word, I look for the ideas in the book. All right. So the word stays with me. I probably gonna remember this word for a long time now because we're working on it so much. Everybody's familiar with their work. If you turn this into your work, if you turn this into your hobby, you'll be familiar with it, right? Right? The phone zoom in. We got stopped in Leviticus, right? Or his flesh, he stopped. The issue of stops from his issue. So the word there is chatham. All right? Right? That's the word there, chatham. Okay? Same thing. From the root to close up, especially to seal, make an end. It comes up. Now this act tells you how much time it comes up, which is very important. Right? The one that comes up the most, seal or seal up. That means I'm gonna have to put that on the board now as the real definition of the word. All right? We got Deuteronomy. Is not this laid up in store with me and sealed up amongst my treasure. That word is katham. Okay. First Kings. The scripture we got on the board, First Kings. All right, sealing the letters. Nehemiah. All right. Okay. Now that sealed were Nehemiah. Now these are the brothers that were sealed into the truth. You see what I'm saying? Sealed into the truth. Nehemiah, the Tarshisha, the son of. Okay, they start breaking down the names here.
Is it the same seal in the book of Revelations?
I don't know.
Put the book out and seal. Is that the same word seal? No.
Because Revelation is written in Greek, I'd have to check. But let me see if I can check that. Right? Hold on. Seal. I'm gonna go to seal and I put in New Testament. Right? Those would have seal. What was that? Revelations 14 or 7?
7.
Here we go. 7 and 4. Till we seal the servants. Based on Nehemiah, it would have to be. Okay. This one says the seal, the stamp with a signet. The word in Greek is the stamp with a signet.
Signet.
That's the stamp. In other words, it's saying to put a mark on you.
Right.
This is the one in verse 4. You got one in, but now we got to look to see if these are all the same Greek word. We got G for Greek, G4972. G4972. All right, G4972. We got one in Revelation 7 and 2. G4973. A signet, fencing, or protecting. Okay, as a mark of privacy. Okay, so the one in Revelation is more saying to put a mark on them. So it's like, like in Ezekiel where it says put a mark on them.
Right.
That's signed for
Right.
them. Yeah, so this is more like a mark.
Okay.
Different. Yeah, but it's the same idea. But just going into the language, it's saying that this is a mark. So mark is put mark on the board. That's a good word. Right, mark. Mark is foul. Commercial on my phone. Foul. Right? So when we go into our Hebrew alphabet, this is the figure of the Latin. Oh, you can't see. This is the figure, right? So like, get the focus in.
What they're doing, no?
Yeah, it's need people to see the board. It's focusing on my phone still. Need some, I don't know, comparison. Right, but what I'm about to write on the board is a simple X, because that is the figure of the mark. Right? Oh, let's get the alphabet sheet. If I could run over this quickly with y'all while it's stuck on the Zoom, right? This is the Hebrew alphabet here, right? We read from right to left, right? We start over here. The English alphabet came from this. A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, kha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, taza, kwa, ra, sha, tha. This tha right here, right? This tha is from thou, which means mark. The figure is putting a mark on someone. So if I want to say, hey, the angel of the Lord, he bringing men to the truth, right? And he marks a man. You understand? There's a command from the Most High to say, mark him, right? Mark him in Hebrew is thou wa. Thou wa. Seal him, chatham wa. Right? Send. Send is shalak. Send him. Shalak wa. Right? And this wa is from the same word here. Wa, say his or him. Right? His or him. Right? Right? Send him. Shalak wa. I'll fix this thing here. Shalak ya. Technology, yeah. Technology. Person who wants to. That's why I don't got no trust in this AI revolution, man. The technology does whatever it wants to sometimes. AI might do whatever it wants to sometimes too. That's what the white man is afraid of. And I hope it happens. All right. Okay, I'm just bring it up close and we work with that, right? Maybe the Lord wanted it. Maybe the Lord wanted this in your face. Okay. How can I okay. All right. And okay, all right. So we have wa tha katham and shisil, right? Ba katham wa in his seal, right? And wa is and she sent, and she sent wa tha shalak. Shalak is a very good word to put on your board, to put on your fridge, to put on the back of your book. You know, you put this in your vocabulary. Shalak. Okay? Good. The letters. Right? The letters. Ha Saparia. Remember they're writing the word, but what if I can stop the camera and start it again? What's the camera? Not the feed, the camera. How do I see it? Camera. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Okay, there we go. Back to normal, right? Okay. That's a clear everybody. Big up everybody on the feed, man. Big up everybody online. All right. Big who's that? Sir Wilson. Shalom. Shalom. That's what's going on. Shalom. That's Buffalo. Big up yeah, off the Pakistan. Good to hear from you. All right. Ain't got no business meddling in life, but good, good. Sharaf, who's the Sharaf, man? I mean, we got the whole upstate New York. We got Restaurant Miala from Long Island. Kalataza, Sea Kalataza, and Nashville checking in. Who else am I missing? All right. Big everybody inside. Don't feel shy to let us know you're here. All right. If you got any questions, please don't feel shy to ask. We got some time. Not a whole lot of time, but we got time to ask questions. Okay. Good. Okay. The letters unto al. This is not over like I'll. This is onto, right? Onto, right? Al, right? We got one, which is preposition, ha, and then we got two, the word zaquanium. Zaquanium. Zaquan is old, right? In this case, an elder, right? Elders are the men with experience. It's not a rank, right? It's men to say the men in your city with experience, right? Zaquan, and then yum is how we pluralize things. You put our yum on any word. If you go get sapar, you're gonna get the word sapar. Sapar is books. Sapar, book. Sapar yum. That yum makes it plural. The yum makes it plural, right? Down here, the yum makes it plural, right? The yum makes it plural. Okay. For those who don't know what the last one the last one I marked is right here. The yum. Yum. They make these tops kind of tight, but it's hard to take off. Right? Yum. Right? Yum. All right, to say plural. This is our way. So in English, we pluralize things by writing an X on everything. Book, books. Paper, papers. Pen, pens. Shirt, shirts. But in Hebrew, it's shirt yum. All right? Book yum. Paper yum. Right? Board yum. Wall yum. You see what I'm saying? It's yum. Yum is the pluralized things in our culture. All right, I don't even want to go too deep into that because they're gonna say, "Oh, well, it's making guys too complicated." You know what I mean? But it's based on. I'm not gonna say what it's based on. I don't want to complicate it. We went over it last week, right? I'm gonna say it. The yum is based on the vast ocean. It's a lot of water out there, right? Good, no problem. Okay, all right. Another day. We'll go into another day, right? Again, all right. Ha, Saparium, the book. The book, nope. The books for the yum. Right? Until so what's going on here is she sends something. Wa tha shalak. Remember, tha is she. Remember that now. I know it's hard for you to remember. Tha is she. Tha, she. Where is tha? Tha, her, tha. Right? Where is she? And she sent. Wa tha shalak. Wa tha shalak. And she sent. Shalak is sent. Wa tha shalak. Ha saparium. What does she send? Ha saparium. The books, or the letters, rather, right? The letters. I'm saying books because the word saparium is books, right? But the books are letters. I guess you got letters in books. We got letters in the Bible. There are books, right? Ha saparium, right? The books. Unto who? Al. Unto who? Al who? HAZAHAB. The ha is the zaquanium. Zaquan. Elder? No, not elder. Elders. Because the yum is the pluralization for the elders. Zaquan yum. Zaquan yum. Yum means more than one, right? Wa al. And unto al. Unto al. Right? Wa al. And unto ha har yum. Ha har yum. Har is our way of saying government. All right. The whole idea is that it is on Har is the hill, right? Ha to say what you see it, Ra to say, Ra to say it's at the top, right? The hill, the hill. So it says the hills, but we're not talking about no ground, no high ground nowhere. We're talking about the government, because in authority, the government has the high ground. All right. She sent. Thaf Shalak Saparium letters all onto the Quanium, the elders, and onto Harium, the government. Right? The government. Right? Who? Ashar. Ba Ayar. That's us. We right now. We're in Ayar. We're in New York Ayar. Ayar is the city. Right? We went over Ba earlier. We're already in the Tanakh over there. Ba means in. Right? In city. Right? We didn't say in the city. That's not how we talk. Ba Ayar. In city. Ba Ayar. Okay? Ha Yashabiyah. Yashab is based on sitting. Right? So many of us in New York, our families have not been living in New York 10 generations. That's not how it worked here, right? What happened is we had families from other places. Families from everyone knew most Jews in New York are from North Carolina. And you got some people in New York from Virginia. And you got fewer people from Alabama. You see what I'm saying? From the South. You know what I mean? Okay. Fewer people out in Long Island and Jersey come from Florida. All right. Right. And then you got the Caribbean folk came here. You know what I mean? They came here and sat down by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down. I'm quoting Buju Banton's song, right? Down by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down. Why? Because we're not from Babylon, but we sat there. What does it mean that we sat in Babylon? For those who don't know, right? But Buju Banton was singing a scripture. I remember when I was in the car with Jenna Maham one time, and I'm putting in all this UK rap and garage and grime music and this New York drill. He's like, "What the hell are you listening to? I want to hear Buju Banton. Ain't you Benjamites?" He's like, "Aren't you Benjamites?" But he wants to hear how the Benjamites sang them scriptures, trying to be free from the oppression, right? He wanted to hear that vibe, right? So the scriptures that Buju Banton was singing was this one. Right? This is the idea that I got Jenna Maham probably wanted to hear. Right? Now the camera is not zooming what I want it to, right? But this is Psalms 137:1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept when we remembered Zion. Zion was our home city, right? Where the city of David was built. Right? The city of David was built on Mount Zion. And then you go to fake Israel today. They got Mount Zion and city of David in two different directions. That's fake. Right? The real city of David was on Mount Zion that they destroyed, right? And they're gonna build some fake city of David the other way. That city that David ain't built. Okay. Right. But the whole idea of sat down in a place. You sat down in a place to mean you live there. Right? You're gonna move. You pack up all of your things in some U-Haul truck. And you go move to New Jersey. You put all your things in this place in New Jersey, you get there, like, oh wow, I finally moved. Let me sit down. You stay there. That's the whole idea. Your shabia, to sit there, right? And what in the city? They're living with Nabath. Nabath is a man, right? So they lived with Nabath. Now, ath means applying the verb, right? But there are instances where this with right here, right? This ath right here is used as with, right? I'll give you a heads up because Every other time when you see this in the Hebrew, you're not going to see this as with. You're going to see this as applying whatever verb that was in front of it to whatever's after it. All right? But for this particular part right here, af is with. All right? How much time do you have here?
It's rather remember mentioning how anything starts on.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. Right? All right? But the whole idea with the seal is in the seal, it's like a red wax seal, right? Where you write Ahab's name, there's Ahab's name. Ah, ha, ah, ba, right? He makes a signature out of this. It's a seal in his name, right? In the name of Ahab. This is not Ahab writing. This is she writing in the king's name. In name king. And she sealed it in his seal. So Ahab wrote his name in whatever signature that he did. David, da, wa, da, right? Da, wa, da. 2 triangles, right? I got this from last week too. That wa, this wa right here, this wa right here is the same as and, right? It's the same as and, right? We write and where's the and at? I got them all over here. And is wa, right? And is wa. All right? Does anyone learn? And is wa. Wa is written like this. You understand? Wa is written like this. Da and da is da and da. You put the da and da. You put the 2 da's together because it's and. Da and da. Here we go. Da. All right? And he created this to be his seal. That's David. That's David now. This is the seal of David or the shield of David. So some neo-Nazi come talking about, oh, this is the shield, the star of Molech, you dumb and stupid that don't know nothing. Okay? And for a fake and a guy and a man who says he's an Israelite. The thing I'm saying is the reason why IUIC does not use the shield of David. They're afraid of it. Based on some fake made up neo-Nazi white man rumor is why they all have the big giant candlesticks, the menorah, instead of the shield of David. And with that, we're gonna end the class. Right, big up Ashley Garcia. I see you, sis. Ashley Garcia. Shalom, sis. Good to hear from you, sis. Brooklyn, New York. I like how New York is really in here. New York State is really in this class right now. You know what I mean? But what we're gonna do now, Ashley, Kalatazar, Yakwatazar, Sharash. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to Commander J. Yohanna's lecture right now, right? Hey, Shalom, sis. Sure, you know what I mean? What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to his lecture right now. Commander Johanna is about to stream live from California. You about to have a very important lecture that you must listen to, and I'm telling you, you must. Like I'm never asking you, like it's an order. Please do this. Do this. No, please do it. Right, damn right, shit. Big up Ashley Garcia, man. Big up Sister Ashley, man. You know what I mean? Supposed to come to Harlem soon. We're waiting for you to come to Harlem. We want to see you in class. You see what I'm saying? Gotta come to class. I want to see them boys in class. I want you to know them brothers. All right? But we're gonna go right now to Commander Johanna's lecture right now, right? Well, if that agree you all, to the brothers, Yahweh Hashim, Yahweh Shai Brakatham, and to my sisters out there, Ashley and the other sisters, Yahweh Shamar Alathan, Bashim Yahweh Shai. Shalom.